any chance of seeing it? Very clean.
Astounding.
So I haven't been watching much, didn't get to see much at all this week, TV-wise or otherwise, or movie-wise. But I have been watching Branded, a 1965 to 66 Western TV series starring the great Chuck Connors from Rifleman fame. And this one he made kind of a couple of years after the Rifleman finished in 63. He started this series and it wasn't as successful as the Rifleman. I think Rifleman ran for about 5 seasons and it was very successful. This is still a very good show, though. This only ran for 2 seasons. I think 48 episodes in all, 13 in black and white in the first series, and 35, I think, in color in the second series. But it's a pretty darn good show. I really enjoyed it. It's a very short time frame they've got. I mean, I think it's 22, 25 minutes per episode. So it is quite a quick kind of story that they have to tell. But I think Chuck Connors is great. He really does sell this show on his own. I mean, he is on his own pretty much. He plays this cavalry captain, Jason McCord, who is kind of dishonorably discharged. He leaves under the cloud of cowardice. The opening credits, he's getting cashiered, I think it's called. I don't have to look that up. But basically, I think it means he's getting stripped of his rank, of his epithets or whatever they're called, and they take his saber, his lightsaber, and they actually break it in half. His commanding officer breaks it in half over his knee and throws it out of the fort and makes him kind of leave the fort in disgrace. Which I always think, is that even possible? Could you really? I mean, this is like steel, like, you know. Could you really? You bend it, maybe, but break it. I don't know. But anyway, it's a great opening credits scene. But one thing about this TV show is the song, the opening song is really bad. I mean, if you look at a lot of the other TV shows, they really sell the TV series with great theme tunes like Cheyenne, Wagon Train, and Rawhide, for example. They have great intro songs and themes. This one doesn't. It's not a great. I mean, it puts across the story, but it's not memorable in any way, or it doesn't really, get you G'd up for the. It's not a great opening song. But as I said, he plays Jason McCord, this disgraced cavalry captain, and basically he kind of goes around the Old West, I guess trying to prove his innocence. I don't know, because I think I've watched about half a dozen 7 episodes of the first series, and he kind of meets different people, and you get little bits of the jigsaw puzzle of what happened at Bitter Creek, this massacre of the cavalry, where he was the only survivor, and he ended up with in a coma for weeks. And when he came out of a coma, he was tried and found guilty of cowardice without really any evidence, I don't believe, and kind of left the army in disgrace. So now he's roaming the Badlands, I guess, trying to prove his innocence, but he meets all these different people who seem to know of him. I mean, the Old West, I mean, did news travel that quickly? And even if it did travel, how do they all know him by sight? You know, was his photograph like put in the press and plus? I don't know, but it seems improbable. But he meets all these people, and they kind of seem to know who he is and give him a rough time. And in each episode, he kind of has to kind of justify himself in some way. But they have great guest stars in here. I think they got Burt Reynolds in one episode, and there's a lot of famous Western actors and famous faces you'll notice coming up, like Claude Akins and people like that, and actors who have had their own Western shows. But I really enjoyed this show. It's got a very diverse stories. There was one episode I watched when he meets this priest, and he has to kill these Indians, these rogue Indians who are drunk, to protect his own life and the priest's life. And then the priest is teaching these Indians schooling and such like, and they challenge him. They order him to come to the camp, and he's basically challenged a duel, the priest, with another Indian to prove his kind of worth, I guess, or because Chuck Connors killed a few of the braves to defend themselves, and in the end, he won't fight because he's a priest. So Chuck Connors has to fight in his stead. And it's a pretty interesting episode. A strange episode, but I like that about this series. It's got a lot of diverse kind of storytelling in it. And you probably have to, because Chuck Connors, as great as he is, it's the whole show here, really. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of kind of emotional support or anybody to play off against. Like with the rifleman, his son, the dynamic between them was great. I made a big part of the show. He's kind of isolated here a little bit because he's got no one to play off, really. But it's still a great show. I think it gets about 7.4 on IMDb, and yeah, I don't know if it's quite that high a score I would give it, but it's certainly a really good show. I'm keeping watching it, and it's very engaging. Well, Chuck Connors is great. He's a great actor. He really is a great actor. It shows his range here in some of these episodes. You know, you think he's kind of quite a demure, is that the word? He's quite a kind of low key actor, but he can do a different range of acting when the need arises.
Mr. Paxton, I'm getting tired talking. Now, where's the money?
Look, I'm just a go-between. You take that up with the man that offered.
Who's that?
You know, it's funny. That Dolan struck me as being a pretty determined fella.
Oh, Mr. Paxton, there is nobody more determined than me.
So I really enjoyed this show. As I said, the theme tuners are not great, but the episode's very well written. I think it was Larry Cohen, who actually was he wrote a lot of horror films and directed some horror films as well. It's probably well known to horror fans, actually, Larry Cohen. And he did a lot of TV writing in his early days, including The Invaders with Roy Thinnes and this show. I'm not sure if he worked on The Rifleman or not, but yeah, definitely check this TV show out, Western TV show. It's a really good show. He's got when they break the saber, his lightsaber, they throw it at the fort, and he picks it up, and he actually is like cut in half, and he actually grinds it down into a knife, into like a half sword knife, which he uses in many episodes, and it's just a really good show, Western show. So that's Branded, and run from 1965 to 66, quite a short run before it was cancelled, but definitely worth a look if you're a Western fan lover like me. With Chuck Connors is great. He's just a really good Western actor, underrated, I would say, and yeah, check it out. Branded, pretty darn good Western show.